Everything that makes a house a home is on sale now during the winter home sale at Charlotte Furniture and Appliance. Save on the best brands for your home, including Whirlpool heavy-duty extra-large capacity washers for $259, JVC 27-inch TVs with remote and stereo sound from $299, and Sealy Posturepedic queen-size sets for $399. No payments or interest until June. The biggest sale of the season is on now at Charlotte Furniture and Appliance. Still the one, still number one.
Only a few years ago, parents in neighborhoods across New York worried what they'd do if their children got sick. They had no health insurance and couldn't afford checkups or hospitalization. That's why I signed legislation expanding Child Health Plus, giving all kids comprehensive health care right in their neighborhoods.
Thanks to Child Health Plus, we can get our kids health care at our local doctors. That means all our families are healthier and happier.
Child Health Plus, building stronger families and stronger communities.
For news that's live, local, and up to the minute, stay tuned to 10 NBC.
You're watching 10 NBC, Rochester.
Churchville's Lindsey Wall and the U.S. women's hockey team are going for the gold. Our top story, Wall is an inspiration to other young female hockey players. You'll hear from some local teenagers.
The Houston mother accused of drowning her 5 kids in a bathtub goes on trial. Andrea Yates is pleading not guilty by reason of insanity.
Your sex could affect your odds of surviving heart surgery. I'll have the details in tonight's medical checkup.
Clear skies tonight, but there are changes on the way in the next several days. Richard has the forecast from the 10 NBC Weather Lab. The news begins right now.
Live, local, and up to the minute. This is News 10 NBC at 11.
Good evening, I'm Brian Martin.
I'm Janet Lomax. The Olympic Games are turning into an inspiration for young athletes here in Rochester.
Yeah, girls hockey is a sport that is skyrocketing in popularity, much of it thanks to the Olympics. Well, tonight we check in with some of the girls on the ice. Wendy Wright is live in the newsroom with the story. Wendy?
Brian, girls hockey players say, move over, boys, and make room for us. And they say the Olympic Games are motivating them to succeed even more.
These young ladies have high goals. They're teenage girls who are playing hockey for the Rochester Edge at the ESL Sports Center. And they're keeping a close eye on the games in Salt Lake City. Among them, 16-year-old Katie Moss of Webster.
I think it's awesome. I'm glad that it's picked up and it's a big sport out there now. We got a lot of opportunities.
Goalie Megan Gabikian of Victor is 15 years old with a goal of one day making the Olympic team.
I think it's been really exciting. They're doing really well, and I hope they get the gold.
These girls played hockey with local star Lindsey Wall, Rochester's 16-year-old Olympian. Coach Gary Moss says it's the team camaraderie that keeps the girls on the ice.
The Olympics, definitely, especially this year with Lindsey Wall being a local girl, huge inspiration. So they love it, too. They love it.
So for the teenagers on the ice here, seeing the women in Salt Lake City with the helmets and the gloves and the hockey sticks and hitting that puck into the net is more than just a little inspiring. They say it makes them want to be better hockey players here in Rochester.
It's also bringing confidence and self-esteem to girls like 17-year-old Kate Frisbee of Hilton, who are preparing to take on the world.
It's awesome, especially to see someone you know like Lindsey get there. It shows that anyone can do it.
I think it's good that finally people are starting to accept that women can do pretty much anything that men can do, pretty much.
Great attitudes, and all 3 women we spoke with tonight say that they hope to someday make the Olympic team. For now, they'll just continue to root on Lindsey Wall and to keep practicing. Reporting live from the newsroom, Wendy Wright, News 10 NBC.
Officials are calling a fire in the city tonight suspicious. The fire broke out at a house on Champlain Street around 8:30. No one was living there. It took firefighters about a half hour to bring it under control. There was heavy smoke and fire damage, but we're told the house was not destroyed.
Still no word on what caused the death of a man seen frequently along a stretch of Monroe Avenue. His body was found inside a detached garage behind a house at 1099 Monroe. People who live in the area say the victim's name is Steve and he was homeless. The landlord who owns the home allowed the victim to stay in that garage and even had a space heater there for him. Neighbors say it looked like the victim had been hit in the head. He is described as white and in his 40s.
You know, Steve, he used to come in the store and he just hung around and walked up and down the avenue. He was a pretty friendly guy. He would talk with people, and even if people didn't want to talk with him.
Kind of scary living right down the road from this. I mean, I've never seen any crime like this go down before on these streets, so it's kind of worried.
Police have not confirmed the man's identity. 2 children are still hospitalized tonight after a snowmobile accident in Wayne County. It happened yesterday in the town of Ontario. Police say 12-year-old Amanda Lute and 7-year-old Michael Matthews crashed their snowmobile into this house. Lute was driving. She's in guarded condition, and Matthews is in satisfactory condition at Strong Hospital. State police say they were wearing helmets. No charges have been filed.
Troubled times for 2 Western New York universities. 2 students are found dead, one at the University of Buffalo, the other at Alfred University. Tonight, officials at Alfred are considering whether to get rid of fraternities and sororities from their campus. Greek students at SUNY Geneseo don't think that's the answer. They say problems associated with Greek life, like binge drinking, drugs, and hazing, are campus or community issues. The students think school officials should not hold the entire Greek system accountable for a few individuals' lapse in judgment.
I don't think you can eliminate the Greek system. The organizations are going to live on without the campus. It doesn't really matter.
I don't think everyone should be punished because there are so many wonderful things that come out of Greek life.
Geneseo Greeks tell us rushing and pledging on their campus doesn't put anyone in danger. A spokesperson from Geneseo says they've had few problems with their sororities and fraternities.
Air traffic controllers at LaGuardia Airport called a plane back today after a passenger got on without being fully screened. The American Eagle flight was about 100 miles out on its way to Cleveland when it had to turn around. Apparently, the man grabbed his bag before it was searched by hand. A Port Authority police officer sounded the alarm, but the plane still took off. The terminal was evacuated. Officials say it was a misunderstanding. The passenger didn't understand the procedures. The plane was called back and everyone had to be rescreened.
Prosecutors say Andrea Yates knew exactly what she was doing when she drowned her 5 children in a bathtub in June. Yates fidgeted and pulled at her fingers during opening arguments of her murder trial today in Houston. She admits she drowned her children, but jurors have to decide whether she knew what she was doing when she did it. Her lawyers claim she was psychotic at the time.
She told Sergeant Mel that she needed to be punished, that she was going to hell for what she had done.
Andrea P. Yates was not able to render a determination of wrongfulness, that she did not appreciate the wrongfulness of her act and believed it to be right.
We asked local people if they think Yates will be found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Well, to me, it seems like it was planned out. You know, I mean, she knew ahead of time. At spur of the moment, it would be different, but it took a lot of time.
I don't think she was insane. I think she knew what she was doing.
I think she knew she was, she was doing what she wanted to do, basically, kill her kids or whatever. There was nothing insane about that.
If she had been proven insane prior to that, possibly, that might work, but just all of a sudden I'm insane.
If convicted, Andrea Yates could get the death penalty.
Should an adult movie store be allowed to open near a shopping center? Some people in Seneca County say no. Show World has opened across from Waterloo Premium Outlets. The building is a former ice cream store. The town of Junius has no zoning restrictions, and officials agree Show World has a First Amendment right to open for business. While some families say it's not appropriate, others we spoke with today say the location isn't a problem. The owner says no one under 18 is allowed inside.
As far as the idea of children being around there, I mean, we don't cater to children. It's an adult business, so we don't have a problem with that.
Show World has 2 stores locally, one on Monroe Avenue and another in Henrietta.
Now, bringing you Western New York's most advanced forecasting technology, here's meteorologist Richard McCullough in the 10 NBC Weather Lab.
All in all, a very nice Monday night across Rochester, but there are some changes coming by the middle of the week and also some more changes by the weekend. We'll take a look at our 5-day forecast for you, but look at the numbers right now. Up in Canada, you see temperatures in the teens, in the 30s. We have 14 degrees up in Watertown, and we have temperatures also in the teens down in the Finger Lakes, Ithaca, 19 degrees. Now, we'll check the local numbers out with our weather watchers and let you know the latest. And also, because of those clear skies out there, the temperature will fall across our area. 27 degrees is our current temperature in downtown Rochester. For today, this Monday, we saw a high temperature of 35 degrees. And it was a cold start. 13 degrees was our official low this morning at the airport. The 5-degree guarantee for last Saturday was 39. We saw 41, and that, of course, is within that range. And tomorrow, I say we'll see a high temperature. Can you believe it? Some of you out there will love it. Near 50 degrees for your day tomorrow. In fact, breezy and mild for your Tuesday. Clouds will increase, though, with the approach of this system, but nonetheless, it'll be a very nice and mild day for your Tuesday across our region. Here's how we look today. You can see our Metro Sky Cam. It caught the blue skies out there, and of course, these high cirrus clouds indicate actually a change in the atmosphere. We're looking at some warmer air which is moving our way. That's what cirrus clouds are. They're high ice crystals way up high in the atmosphere, in excess of 25,000 feet or so. So you can see them coming our way there. The push of milder air across the Ohio Valley. Some showers here, but I don't expect any shower activity tomorrow. I think we'll be protected by high pressure, but you can see the clouds. They're associated with this circulation around the high pressure system. So eventually, though, this milder air will filter in tomorrow and also tomorrow night. It looks like mild air is coming, at least in the short term. Now, temperatures right now, as you see, in these 20s across much of the viewing area. 22 degrees according to Parker Zach up in Webster, 24 degrees in Warsaw. We have 19 degrees up in Red Creek at this hour. That's the low temperature at this hour, and 23 degrees currently down in Farmington. At the airport, our temperature is down to 27 degrees, a respectable number for a Monday night. Winds are calm, the pressure is holding steady, and we're looking pretty good at this hour. Now, for the overnight, you can expect a relatively quiet night across the region. This high pressure will keep us relatively dry. You'll see just a few high clouds across the region tonight, but no big deal from that. Temperatures falling down to around 20 degrees or so. Some of the outlining areas, the temperatures might dip into the upper teens across the viewing area. I think south of the Thruway, you might see that happen across the region. Now, for tomorrow, though, you can expect that high to gradually begin to slip away to the Atlantic Ocean. We'll start tapping into more of that mild air. It becomes breezy tomorrow with the approach of a front and an area of low pressure. That means increasing clouds tomorrow night, and into Wednesday, we'll see some showers developing. A better chance of showers by your Wednesday afternoon as this system continues to move to the north and the east. I think the bulk of the activity will be north, but we will see probably some steady showers by Wednesday afternoon. But looks like it will be on the mild side, though. Look at that, 49 degrees, though, for your Wednesday. And look at the temperatures for Thursday. That'll be a transition day. That area of low pressure moves away, starts tapping into some colder air coming in from the north. So we may start off in the 40s on Thursday, but temperatures will fall back into the 20s and the 30s by Friday. Might see a few snow showers as we go into Friday and also into Saturday with a definite trend toward colder air by the weekend.
Little taste of spring for tomorrow, I guess.
Absolutely.
We'll take it. Very good.
Thanks. Will United Airlines planes keep flying?
Coming up, the latest on contract talks with the airline's mechanics. Also, investigators have found more bodies at a crematorium in Georgia.
Your sex may affect your odds of surviving heart surgery. I'll have the details in tonight's medical checkup.
I'm Rich Funky. Tonight on Sports, we'll recap a great day for the Americans on the ice, both in Salt Lake City and here in Rochester. Plus, the NFL expansion draft grabs a Rochester player and one off the Bills list. It's coming up.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by Chase Pitkin Home and Garden.
Chase Pitkin is spreading the color and the glory. It's the All-American Paint Sale, featuring super low prices on quality Glidden interior paint every time you use your Shoppers Club card. Glidden Color Flats just $10.99 a gallon, Color Satin $12.99.
You gotta love these prices.
Get free custom color and a free hand flag with every Glidden gallon. The All-American Paint Sale. The color, the glory, the savings at Chase Pitkin now.
I slipped on some ice, and I couldn't get up.
Hurt? Call us, and we'll take care of everything.
I didn't have to do anything. They took care of everything.
The more serious your injury, the more you need the heavy hitters, Alexander and Catalano.
They treat you more like friends than they do clients.
Good things happen the minute you call 800-WHEC-1333.
It's the biggest check I got in my life.
Hurt? Call us. We're Alexander and Catalano.
It's a huge new year at Fusillo Ford of Seneca Falls. Hey folks, I'm Tom Park, and what a great way to start the new year out right with a huge selection of late model trucks, starting at only $69.95. Fords, Chevys, Dodges, imports, half tons, 3/4 tons, 2- and 4-wheel drive. Again, starting at just $69.95. Give us a call toll free at 1-866-205-8037, or simply make the short drive for a huge selection and huge savings. It's a huge new year at Fusillo Ford of Seneca Falls.
They love ice cream.
Ferris wheels, an occasional dry cleaner, and the blue envelope. Valpak and Valpak.com. There's something in it for you.
There's an avalanche of fun waiting for you inside Valpak with Ice Age and Burger King.
You're an embarrassment to nature. Do you know that?
Look for Ice Age in theaters March 15th.
I want to tell you a story of two brand new houses. Both are exactly the same size, but this one uses 30% less energy because it's built to the Energy Star guidelines for new home construction. That means 30% less in energy costs every year you own the home. Just call this number and we'll send you a free video on how to construct to the Energy Star guidelines. Or you can simply look for a new house with the Energy Star symbol on the for sale sign. Without it, you're wasting your energy.
You're watching News 10 NBC with Janet Lomax and Brian Martin, live, local, and up to the minute.
The number of bodies at a Georgia crematorium continues to rise.
The chief medical examiner says he, quote, can't even begin to guess what the total will be. That story tops our newsline. Investigators have found 139 bodies. The corpses were supposed to be cremated, but someone buried them in the woods or stacked them in storage sheds. Some of those bodies are weeks old. Others have been decomposing for more than a decade. The operator of the crematorium is charged with theft by deception.
An Israeli police officer and a Palestinian man are dead after a car bombing outside Jerusalem. Police stopped a suspicious vehicle near a checkpoint. When the driver got out, police drew their guns. The man used a remote control to activate a car bomb. Israel says Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat has not done enough to stop militant attackers.
Prosecutors want the death penalty for the woman accused of setting a deadly fire last week in Greensboro, North Carolina. 23-year-old Janet Danahy is charged with first-degree murder. 4 people at an apartment complex died. That complex was home to students at the nearby University of North Carolina at Greensboro.
American Lori Berenson will remain in a Peruvian prison. Today, that country's Supreme Court upheld her terrorism conviction. Berenson is from New York. In 1995, she was found guilty of helping Marxist rebels try to overtake the Peruvian government. That conviction was overturned thanks to U.S. pressure, but she was then found guilty in a civil court. She has maintained her innocence. Her parents want Peru to pardon her.
The skies are still pretty friendly for United Airlines. It reached a tentative agreement with its 13,000 mechanics, meaning United's planes will stay in the air. The two sides reached a deal less than 36 hours before a strike deadline. The mechanics were ready to strike on Wednesday. Their union, though, still has to approve that deal. Well, besides the high stress of competing in the Olympics, the athletes must also deal with the cold.
Coming up in tonight's medical checkup, battling the elements in Salt Lake City.
They're the biggest story in this year's Olympics. And tonight on the Olympic Tonight Show, David Peltier and Jamie Soleil talk about getting the gold and how they found love.
I mean, are you lifting up one day and go, hey, I like this, or what? How do you decide?
Plus, Charlie Sheen, Nelly Furtado, the swimsuit cover models revealed, and Ross the Intern's Olympic pile-on tonight.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by New York State Department of Health.
I quit smoking here, and it was supposed to last for the rest of my life. Turned out I needed a cigarette, blip, and blip, 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 blip. Yeah, I blew it. But I quit again. This time for a day, no blip, and another, until now I'm getting it. It's blipping amazing.
Hi, can I get you a cup of coffee?
Sure.
It's time for the Team Dodge sales event, where every bold and powerful Dodge truck comes with our powertrain pledge. 7 years or 100,000 miles of engine and transmission protection that you don't get from Ford, GM, Honda, or Toyota. Plus, get your choice of a cash allowance of up to $2,500 or 0% financing. Great products, great protection, great values. Right now during the Team Dodge sales event.
You can hear News 10 NBC on the radio every day on WYSL News 1040. These broadcasts are made possible by Charlotte Furniture and Appliance.
The catch is in. So come join Perkins Seafood Jamboree. Look at the Captain's Catch, a hearty portion of Atlantic cod fillets with shrimp and clams.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't skimp on the shrimp. We pile them high for our shrimp feast dinner. Or try our grilled teriyaki salmon with lemon pepper and apricot glaze. With prices starting at just $6.99, it's time to catch Perkins Seafood Jamboree.
Perkins, always something fresh and new.
The race of life goes not to the swift, but to those who persevere, to those who carry on when every mile seems like two, every minute an hour. For them, little by little, each obstacle falls, to reveal that the impossible task is quite possible after all. Tenacity. We teach it.
Your Wegmans has great meals you can make in a hurry. So what are you having for dinner tonight?
I have no idea.
How about a nice hot meal you cook right at home? We make it easy. Everything is waiting for you at the Dinner Tonight station in Wegmans Produce Department. All you do is stir fry, and we'll even teach you how.
That's easy.
That's the idea. Try it tonight.
We help make it easy. Wegmans.
Whether you're male or female could affect your odds of surviving heart surgery. Medical reporter Robin Duane joins us with more in tonight's medical checkup.
While the overall risk of dying during heart bypass surgery is small, new research finds it's nearly twice as high for women. The study of more than 51,000 heart bypass patients finds close to 3% of the men died in the hospital compared to over 5% of women. In patients younger than 50, the difference was even more striking. 3.5% of the women died compared to just over 1% of men. Researchers say they weren't able to determine why death rates were higher for women. The research was conducted at Emory School of Medicine in Atlanta. And finally, it takes more than talent and skill to grab a gold in Salt Lake. Along with the altitude, Olympic athletes must cope with the extreme cold. Cold fingers and toes aren't the only worries for the Olympians competing in the elements in Salt Lake. The cold causes reflexes to slow down and slows reaction, which could slow an athlete's performance. Dressing in layers can help. Another issue, food and drink, because the body has to work harder to stay warm. It's burning more calories and using up fluids.
So there's all kinds of reasons you can dehydrate very quickly in the cold if you're not paying attention to it. Mandatory water breaks and stuff like that, you know, we mandate that in the heat, but it's also very important in the cold.
The bottom line, use common sense. Feeling too hot or too cold is a sign you need to take a break. Also, along with scientifically engineered racing suits that keep out the cold, researchers are now testing heating wraps and other products designed to help keep muscles warm and flexible. And that's tonight's medical checkup.
Rich Funky is next with sports. We'll recap the day in Salt Lake City, and we'll go to the War Memorial, where the Amerks were after their third straight win. Highlights coming up.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
If I had $1 million, if I had $1 million, I'd buy you a house. I would buy you a house. And if I had $1 million, I'd buy you love. If I had $1 million.
Wednesday's Lotto jackpot is $18 million. New York Lotto. Hey, you never know.
Many adults have told me that to quit smoking is one of the hardest things you can do. It's no easier for a teenager. That's why we created GottaQuit.com to give teen smokers no-nonsense advice about how to quit. If your teenager smokes, encourage them to quit. Make sure they understand it's an addiction and send them to GottaQuit.com to talk to a quit coach online. The end starts here. GottaQuit.com.
A violin sings, a fiddle dances. Now, Barrage. The new theatrical musical phenomenon taking America by storm. Critics call it far-out fiddling, a smoldering show. You'll call it sensational.
One show only, February 24th. Tickets at Ticket Express or call 222-5000 or online at Ticketmaster.com.
The electrifying Barrage.
What you're searching for is there, provided you know where to look. Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Comfortably affordable, stylish home furnishings. You might need 2 chairs. You might need an entire room. Either way, it's a win-win situation during Pick a Pair, Pick a Room. Going on now at Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries.
It's a huge new year at Fusillo Ford of Seneca Falls. Hey folks, I'm Tom Park, and Billy is out to break all of last year's records with a huge selection of late model trade-ins starting at just $59.50. Now, if you're looking for a Ford, a Chevy, a Dodge, an import, we've got the selection. In fact, a huge selection, but you might say we're a little buried in inventory, so we're going to do whatever it takes to move them out. Give us a call toll-free at 866-205-8037. A huge new year at Fusillo Ford of Seneca Falls.
Value City Furniture, Ridge Road in Greece and near Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You just can't do any better.
Now, here's Rich Funky with sports on News 10 NBC. Live, local, and up to the minute.
Hi, everybody. The Amherst were looking for their third straight win tonight. They took on Chicago. That's Atlanta's top farm club, and they did it on the Moose's birthday tonight. All his buddies were in town, scoreless in the second period, when Christian Matt skated in shorthanded, went backhand, 1-0 Amherst, and 33 seconds later, they struck again. Craig Sharon to Norm Milley, 5-hole for his 19th. Mika Nornan was solid in goal with 21 saves, 2 coming up during this sequence late in the second period, and Mika got the shutout tonight, and Matt capped a dominating performance with his second goal. It came in the third, 4-0 Amherst, the final.
It feels good. I mean, 3-game. I'm not sure if we did that so far this year, and we're on a big roll, and it's important for us because we know if we want to have a spot in the playoff, we need to win every game because Hershey right behind us, and if we keep going like this, we get in front of Cleveland, and it's going to give us a good spot for the playoff.
And next up for the Amherst, a game in Hamilton on Wednesday. At the Olympics, Team USA's men's team rolled into the quarterfinals. As the top seed in their bracket, the U.S. spotted Belarus a 1-0 lead. Red Hull tied it, then set up John LeClaire for 2 more quick goals to give the U.S. a 3-1 lead after 2. And in the third period now, 5 more for Team USA. Adam Deadmarsh to Billy Guerin. What a pass. 8-1 the final. Tom Barrasso was in goal. The U.S. now unbeaten in 22 matches on home ice since 1932. They get a quarterfinal matchup with Germany on Wednesday. The women's team plays tomorrow at 6:30. Mario Lemieux got Canada's first 2 goals against the Czechs. Tied at 2 in the third period now. Yuri Dopita gave the Czech Republic a 3-2 lead. But the Canadians tied it. Fleury and Jovanovski doing the work, and Joe Nieuwendyk got free for a wrister with 3.5 minutes left. 3-3. That's how it ended. And with the tie, Canada faces Finland on Wednesday. Dominik Hasek and the Czechs will face the Russians. Also today, Australian Elisa Kaplan, who had never won a World Cup event but kept competing despite 9 concussions, won the women's aerials, Australia's second gold of the games. With Martin Schmidt and Sven Hannibal leading the way, Germany won the men's 120-meter team ski jumping competition by 1/10 of a point, the closest margin in Olympic history. Finland got the silver, Slovenia finished third. And the ice dancing gold medal went to the French team of Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pizarat. Russia took silver, Italy took the bronze. The International Skating Union met today in Salt Lake City and approved a proposal to change the way figure skating is judged in the future. Under that proposal, the 6.0 system would be replaced by a point system where a triple axel, for example, would be worth more than a double axel. And 14 judges, not 9, would score international competitions, with 7 of the votes, 7 of the 14 randomly thrown out, making it far more difficult for a judge or a group of judges to fix an event. Okay, let's look at the medal count now. Germany continues to lead the medal count with 24 total medals, 8 gold. The U.S. with 18 medals. The new NFL Houston Texans began building their team today through the expansion draft. They selected a player off the Bills list, but it was not Rob Johnson. It was receiver Avion Black. Victor native Seth Payne, the defensive tackle, was plucked from Jacksonville's roster, and Jags offensive tackle Tony Vaselli was Houston's first pick. They also took Jacksonville defensive tackle Gary Walker, who made the Pro Bowl last year. In all, 19 veterans were selected today. There were a half-dozen quarterbacks available. The Texans chose Danny Werfel from Chicago. Some of the other 19 taken: Aaron Glenn from the Jets, Matt Stevens from the Patriots. So Rob Johnson's future with the Bills remains up in the air. GM Tom Donahoe said today if he wants to stay in Buffalo, he will have to take a pay cut. John Gruden is getting a pay hike. The Tampa Bay Bucks have hired the Oakland Raiders coach at nearly $3 million a year. Gruden had 1 year left on his Oakland contract, but indicated he would not stay around after that. So Al Davis worked a deal. The Raiders are expected to get 2 number-1 picks and 2 second-rounders, plus around $8 million in cash. Lennon Steenkamp has rejected an offer to join the MLS Metro Stars. He will remain with the Rhinos after spending most of last week in the Metro Stars Florida training camp. To the NBA now, where the Utah Jazz are still on the road. John Stockton for 2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. But the big man was the mailman, who scored 23 of his 35 in the second half. Utah won 103-92. They're 5-2 on that 9-game road trip. College basketball, the MCC men down Jamestown Community. Ray Henry scored 24. Amy Sheridan with 30 in MCC's women's victory over Jamestown Community. That's sports tonight.
All right, Rich, thanks.
Rich, thank you. Your winning lottery numbers coming up.
And on this President's Day, a fitting tribute to President Bush. That story's just ahead.
Buy Monroe County Savers Bonds. A good investment for your future, a good investment for the future of our community.
They can't even hear us.
Frontier Privacy leaves telemarketers out in the cold. It's just $3.45 a month. Order before February 28th and receive free activation.
I slipped on some ice and I couldn't get up.
Hurt? Call us and we'll take care of everything.
I didn't have to do anything. They took care of everything.
The more serious your injury, the more you need the heavy hitters, Alexander and Catalano.
They treat you more like friends than they do clients.
Good things happen the minute you call 800-WHEC-1333.
It's the biggest check I got in my life.
Hurt? Call us. We're Alexander and Catalano.
Once again, Raymore and Flanagan leads the way in the world of furniture, combining incredible value with astounding prices. Like this contemporary velvet pillow top sofa, available in eggplant or oregano, now just $3.99. Or this comfortable dual reclining sofa, covered in a soft yet durable chenille textured fabric, just $5.99. Or this contemporary top grain leather sofa, available in vanilla or ponderosa black, now just $6.99. All with guaranteed delivery in 3 days or less. Raymore and Flanagan, improving your world through better furniture.
If you see news happen, call the News 10 NBC hotline at 232-1010 or star 10 on your Verizon wireless phone. Join in, a service brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers, the midday results. The daily, 476. The win for, 7248. For the evening drawing, the daily numbers, 776. The win for, 6311. And the take 5 tonight, 14, 37, 39, 17, and 30.
And the breakfast forecast.
Well, I was about to say oatmeal, but...
that sounds good. Raisins.
Yeah. Partly cloudy, cold. Good, get a nice warm start. Temperatures in the 20s as you start.
Cold cereal.
Well,
yeah, that too.
That's good.
Cornflakes with bananas.
Cornflakes with some sugar on it.
Sounds good.
Okay, very good.
A lot of sugar. Well, you can see President Bush at Disney World, and he won't mind if you say he's a little stiff. This robotic version of the president was unveiled today, and what better day to introduce this replica than on President's Day? The younger Bush joins his father and other robotic presidents dating back to George Washington.
I don't know, it looks pretty lifelike to me.
It does.
I don't know if that's an insult to George Bush or a compliment to the robot itself. Who knows?
It looked good.
Yeah.
We thank you for watching.
Good night.
Good night.